Hello and welcome. I'm here as your personal consultant to discuss some changes you may be experiencing. We need to assess what's going on with your vision and overall comfort. Are you noticing that you're consistently holding menus and reading materials at arm's length just to bring the print into any kind of clear focus? Are you frequently squinting at your digital screens, or perhaps choosing to skip reading altogether because the letters seem to constantly blur together? It is incredibly easy for any of us to simply dismiss these shifts as an inevitable part of the aging process. But let me ask you this directly. What if this creeping visual blur isn't just a sign of getting older, but a significant warning flag from your body? And more importantly, what if we could find a straightforward natural strategy to counter it? If you care about your eyes, your skin, and your peace of mind, make sure to subscribe now. Every week I share simple, natural ways to help you see clearer, feel calmer, and live healthier at any age. I am going to share with you an extraordinary yet simple preparation, a kitchen cabinet cure, that some people report has helped them challenge the need for constant reliance on corrective lenses. Can you imagine that a potent remedy might be tucked away in your kitchen cabinet right now? We aren't talking about invasive procedures or specialty prescription drops, but simply two accessible everyday items you likely have on hand: castor oil and baking soda. Does this sound far too optimistic or even unbelievable? Tell me, when did you first start noticing the difficulty in reading small print? Please stay with me because I am about to walk you through how this humble combination has generated significant conversation about achieving clearer, sharper sight and potentially reducing those frequent visits to your eye care professional. In just a moment, I will provide the precise instructions for combining these ingredients, explain the biological mechanisms behind their effectiveness, and uncover the compelling research that supports their use. I assure you, once you appreciate the simplicity and potential of this approach, you will view your kitchen pantry and your current glasses in a completely different light. Are you prepared to uncover this simple method that could fundamentally shift the way you experience the world? Let's first address the area around your eyes. If you've been struggling with eyes that feel persistently fatigued, look puffy, or are burdened by those persistent under-eye bags, I have a fascinating natural solution to share. How often would you say your eyes feel truly rested at the end of the day? I was recently inspired by a personal account shared by a wonderful 75-year-old client who used a similar technique. She reported that after consistently applying this mix to her face and orbital area, she found herself able to read without her spectacles, a feat she hadn't managed for many years. Her success story deeply resonated with me, and I knew it was vital to pass this information along to you. Let's begin the preparation process. Take a small, clean bowl. Carefully measure and mix 1 teaspoon of castor oil with half a teaspoon of baking soda. Stir the components gently until they merge into a smooth, uniform paste. Now, before you apply this blend near your eyes, we must ensure skin compatibility. Have you noticed any sensitivity to new products recently? Perform a quick patch test by applying a small dot of the paste to the inside of your wrist to verify your skin accepts it well. Assuming there is no adverse reaction, use clean fingertips to very softly dab a minimal amount of the paste directly around the eye area, focusing particularly on areas with puffiness or dark circles. Crucially, exercise extreme caution to prevent any of the mixture from entering your eyes. Allow the preparation to remain on the skin for approximately 15 minutes. Thoroughly rinse the area with lukewarm water and then softly pat your skin dry with a clean, gentle cloth. You may incorporate this into your routine 2 to 3 times per week to achieve the best results. Let's examine the powerful actions of these individual components. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, a naturally occurring fatty acid known for its powerful anti-inflammatory properties and its ability to stimulate microcirculation. Applying it around the eyes gently promotes blood flow within the fine capillaries, which can over time lead to a gradual reduction in the appearance of both puffiness and dark circles. Baking soda contributes by serving as a very mild exfoliant, delicately sloughing away surface dead skin cells. This action lifts away dullness, revealing skin that is notably fresher and brighter beneath. Furthermore, its mild alkalinity assists in re-establishing your skin's natural pH equilibrium, leaving the area feeling cleansed and rejuvenated. When these two common items are combined, they work in concert to deliver a complex of hydration-soothing comfort and natural brightening to the delicate periorbital skin. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology found that the ricinoleic acid in castor oil was able to reduce inflammation in skin tissues by up to 40% in laboratory trials. Separately, the study noted that when baking soda was used in minimal concentrations, it resulted in a 25% improvement in skin texture among participants over the age of 60 after a mere 2 weeks. These quantifiable results clearly demonstrate the potential efficacy of this accessible combination, especially for mature skin-seeking non-pharmaceutical options for eye care. Personally, I highly recommend sourcing a top-quality cold-pressed castor oil. I find the silky texture and pure clean scent exceptionally comforting. I often recommend the Heritage Store brand, which is widely available and consistently provides a gentle nurturing effect. Once your mixture is prepared, transfer it into a small, airtight glass container and store it in the refrigerator. This will maintain its freshness and potency for up to 7 days. Do you have an established evening ritual to de-stress? I suggest you pour yourself a soothing mug of chamomile tea in the evening. While you unwind, gently massage the refrigerated mixture around your eyes. Feel the day's stress and tension subtly melt away as the cool, calming blend absorbs into your skin. You will find that your eyes feel truly and utterly refreshed. If you'd love to keep discovering simple, natural rituals like this, tap the subscribe button below. It truly helps me share more healing secrets with you. But our consultation doesn't stop with the eyes. Next, I will share how this very same potent pairing can be applied to address another area of concern for many overall skin vitality. After observing the remarkable effect this simple homemade preparation had on the sensitive skin around my own eyes, I was compelled to use it on the rest of my facial skin, and the results were genuinely astonishing. How would you describe your current skin texture and vibrancy? The immediate glow, the improved softness, and the noticeable smoothness were akin to turning back the clock by a significant margin. If your skin has recently felt dull, appears slightly slack, or seems generally tired, this upcoming protocol may be the most accessible and cost-effective skin revitalizer you will ever discover. Begin by combining 1 tablespoon of castor oil with 1 teaspoon of baking soda in a clean ceramic or glass vessel. Stir until a creamy, not too liquid paste is formed. The consistency should be smooth yet substantial. Using gentle circular motions, carefully massage the paste into your clean facial skin. Give particular attention to areas that often show the most aging, such as the forehead, neck, and the regions around the mouth. Smile lines. Allow the treatment to remain on your skin for approximately 20 minutes. Rinse thoroughly with warm water and follow up by patting the skin dry. I personally find it most beneficial to perform this ritual twice a week in the evening, as this allows my clean and settled skin to fully absorb and benefit from the oils overnight. Do you currently use any exfoliation methods in your routine? Castor oil is exceptionally rich in omega-9 fatty acids and vitamin E, 2 nutrients absolutely vital for sustaining skin elasticity and a soft texture. When applied topically, it has a penetrating quality that allows it to reach deep into the dermis. This internal nourishment helps stimulate the crucial production of collagen and elastin, the essential structural proteins responsible for maintaining the firm, plump skin texture we all strive to preserve as we mature. Baking soda fulfills a distinct but equally important function. It acts as an extremely gentle mechanical exfoliator, effectively lifting away accumulated dead skin cells and encouraging newer, brighter skin to emerge on the surface. It also possesses mild antibacterial qualities that aid in clearing out congested pores and reducing the potential for minor breakouts, which can still occur even in our later years. Furthermore, the mild alkaline nature of baking soda can help rebalance the skin's surface pH, which tends to become more acidic as we age. This balancing action contributes to improved skin clarity and overall evenness of tone over time. A report from the American Academy of Dermatology in 2018 highlighted significant findings. Participants over the age of 55 who used the ricinoleic acid component of castor oil experienced a remarkable 38% increase in skin hydration in just 4 weeks. Even more compelling, seniors who utilized gentle exfoliation with a baking soda preparation enjoyed a 30% enhancement in brightness and textural smoothness after only 2 weeks. These results confirm that powerful visible improvements are achievable without resorting to expensive, complex cosmetic preparations. After completely rinsing the mixture off, you should apply a thin layer of a high-quality aloe vera gel or a peptide serum to seal in the moisture and maximize that healthy glow. Your skin will readily absorb this follow-up treatment. I encourage you to store a small batch of this mixture in your refrigerator. Each time you access it, that initial cool sensation on your skin will feel like a rejuvenating wake-up call. I suggest dedicating a full 20 minutes to this self-care ritual. Perhaps light a gentle candle, play your preferred soft music, and allow yourself a moment of uninterrupted calm. As you gently apply the paste, you may almost sense your skin relaxing with relief. The result is skin that looks noticeably smoother and brighter, often leading to a subtle but definite surge of personal confidence that can last the entire day. However, the benefits of this humble castor oil and baking soda pairing extend far beyond simple aesthetic improvements. There is another surprising way this blend can provide genuine comfort, a quiet, soothing action I personally did not anticipate until I experienced it. It is perfectly suited for alleviating those minor aches and daily stresses that seem to accumulate with age. Are you dealing with any persistent minor aches or pains lately? This next application is not focused on beauty, but on a deeper form of comfort, providing relief from minor muscle tension, stiff joints, and persistent nagging skin irritations that seem to intensify over the years. Where does your body tend to hold the most tension? Here is the straightforward method for a targeted topical application. When you feel a joint is stiff or your hands, knees, or lower back are sore after physical activity, combine 1 tablespoon of castor oil with half a teaspoon of baking soda in a small dish. Stir until it forms a thick, soft paste. Gently yet firmly rub the paste onto the area requiring comfort, such as the wrists, lower back, or the soles of your feet. Massage it in using slow circular motions for several minutes. Cover the treated area with a soft cotton cloth or a warm towel. Allow it to sit for approximately 30 minutes. Afterward, gently wipe off any excess or rinse the area with lukewarm water. This simple treatment feels akin to a miniature spa experience, but with the added benefit of providing subtle, below-the-surface therapeutic action. It's truly remarkable to understand the science behind why this basic combination is so effective. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, a natural compound with the power to quiet the activity of small chemical messengers in the body called prostaglandins. These are the very substances that signal your joints to swell and become painful. In fact, a 2014 study published in Complementary Therapies in Clinical Practice found that participants who regularly applied and gently massaged castor oil packs onto their painful spots reported a significant 56% reduction in joint pain after only 4 weeks. Can you imagine a simple pantry oil easing your discomfort by more than half? Baking soda is the understated partner in this application. Its gentle alkaline nature has a naturally soothing and softening effect on irritated skin, acting like a cool, calming application for dry patches or minor insect bites. While it is not a pharmaceutical drug, it subtly works to rebalance the skin's surface acidity, helping to restore pH levels as the skin matures. Together, these two everyday ingredients offer a sense of comforting relief for tired, aching joints and skin that may have endured environmental stress. I must stress the necessity of extra caution with this particular use. Never apply this blend to broken skin or to open wounds. It is intended for easing superficial discomfort and aches, not for treating deep tissue injuries. Do you currently have any areas of broken skin? If your skin is notably sensitive, you should always start with the smallest amount. I recommend a quick patch test on your inner arm first. A mild momentary tingling sensation is usually acceptable, but if it evolves into stinging or burning, wash the area off immediately and consider omitting the baking soda in future applications. It is genuinely surprising that something so readily available can melt away daily discomfort and bring such noticeable real relief. Next, let's discuss oral health. You may be surprised, but this combination can offer significant assistance here. I was amazed by how much fresher, cleaner, and overall healthier my own oral care routine felt after integrating this simple technique. When was your last dental checkup? At our age, a robust oral health regimen is far more than maintaining an aesthetically pleasing smile. It is profoundly interconnected with systemic health, including cardiovascular function, digestive health, and even cognitive processes. Start by placing half a teaspoon of castor oil and a full teaspoon of baking soda into a small dish. Stir until the two components transform into a creamy, gently granular paste. Dip the very soft bristles of your toothbrush into this blend. With deliberate and gentle care, brush along your gum line. Focus particularly on the areas where plaque is prone to buildup right at the base of the teeth. Move slowly for a full 2 to 3 minutes, applying no harsh pressure, but ensuring that every area receives a soft, comforting scrub. After brushing, thoroughly rinse your mouth with warm water to wash away any residual grit. Follow up with a swish of warm salt water or your preferred fluoride-free rinse, making it a brief rejuvenating moment for your entire mouth. I limit this specific ritual to only once or twice a week to avoid the potential for gum irritation or disrupting the delicate microbial balance of the mouth. Do you currently experience any gum sensitivity or recession? Castor oil is a recognized natural antimicrobial agent. It contains ricinoleic acid and undecilenic acid, which are known to help combat the bacterial strains responsible for gum inflammation, halitosis, bad breath, and even early-stage gum disease. Baking soda has been a trusted component in oral care for many decades due to its ability to neutralize acids in the mouth, reduce plaque formation, and provide a gentle surface polish for the teeth. Its mild abrasive quality helps lift minor surface stains without causing damage to the tooth enamel, a consideration that becomes increasingly critical as our natural teeth age and become more prone to sensitivity. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Dentistry observed that brushing with baking soda-based pastes resulted in an average 40% greater reduction in plaque compared to standard toothpaste after only 4 weeks. Furthermore, the antibacterial properties of castor oil showed promise in lowering the levels of Streptococcus mutans, the primary bacteria linked to dental cavities when used in controlled oral applications. Again, I must caution against daily use. Once or twice a week is sufficient. Overuse could potentially lead to increased gum irritation or tooth sensitivity. If you have existing active gum disease, deep periodontal pockets, or any complex sensitive dental work, you absolutely must consult with your dentist before you begin incorporating this routine. Always use a toothbrush with very soft bristles and ensure a thorough rinse to prevent any residue from remaining on the teeth. I have reserved my personal favorite ritual involving this castor oil and baking soda preparation for our final discussion. I never anticipated it would become such an essential, comforting part of my evening routine. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you typically relax before bedtime? Whenever I feel physically sore, my shoulders are tense, or my back is aching from the demands of a long day, I immediately turn to this small jar of simple comfort. I measure out 1 generous tablespoon of smooth castor oil and a half teaspoon of fine baking soda into a small bowl. Watching the 2 simple ingredients blend into a creamy, smooth paste brings a quiet satisfaction. Next, I gently warm the bowl by placing it into a larger container of hot water. Never use a microwave for this. Once the paste has reached a comfortable temperature, I dip my fingertips and lovingly spread the mix across my neck, shoulders, or any area where I feel tension is concentrated. Using slow, deliberate strokes, I massage the area deeply yet gently mentally, instructing every knot and tight muscle to release. I then cover the area with a warm towel and allow it to rest for approximately 30 minutes. During this time, I close my eyes, practice deep, calming breathing, and often listen to a preferred soft melody. As the minutes pass, the gentle warmth penetrates, the aches begin to subside, and I find myself drifting into a state of profound, peaceful calm. The benefits here extend far beyond merely feeling good. Castor oil is well recognized for its rich content of ricinoleic acid, a compound celebrated for its analgesic, pain-relieving, and anti-inflammatory characteristics. When applied to the skin, it is believed to subtly stimulate the lymphatic system and help calm the overproduction of prostaglandins, the very natural substances in the body that initiate inflammation and signal pain. Baking soda, while its role is often understated in this context, functions as a mild alkalizing agent, assisting in the reduction of skin surface acidity and promoting relaxation through a gentle soothing effect on the skin and underlying muscles. There is a unique and genuine comfort in this warm bedtime ritual. It is a pure natural solution, yet it completely envelops me in a wave of calmness that surpasses any commercial product I've used. As the warmth settles in and the muscular tension dissipates, I feel my body relax in ways I hadn't realized were possible. It truly feels like a gentle, full-body embrace. If you are hoping for the possibility of clearer vision, or are simply ready to find a natural way to ease daily physical discomfort, I strongly encourage you to try this incredibly simple mix. If you enjoyed this journey toward clearer vision and calm living, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell. In the next video, I'll show you how this same gentle blend can rejuvenate your entire face naturally.